Hello, just gonna say a few things about Wayward Sisters. What network would be stupid enough to pass on a show that revolves around a self-made family of badass women fighting evil? The answer is no network would. I can't wait for Wayward Sisters. Wait, hang on. The CW did what?
Put the bunny back in the box.
It's been a bloodbath these last few days when it comes to TV shows. Many shows have been cancelled, many fandoms are in uproar, and congrats, by the way, to Brooklyn Nine-Nine fans for their swift uncancellation. And some shows have been killed before they even had a chance to emerge from the metaphorical TV womb. One such show has seemingly caused more of a sting than any other. That's Wayward Sisters. Before I go into that, let me tell you about the show it was meant to be spinning off from. You've probably heard of Supernatural. It started, I think, in 1947, and as far as I'm aware, and I'm not great with maths, but I think next season's going to be its 748th season, I think. Ish. It's a show that focuses primarily on brothers Sam and Dean Winchester, and it's known for being, I can't think of a better term than cock-heavy. It has very little in the way of long-lasting female characters, and I have to say, I don't think that in and of itself is a problem. There's nothing wrong with a show being full of guys, a man show, if you will. I don't think a female regular character should be added in for the sake of it. They tried before in Season 3 with Ruby and Bella, and it didn't exactly work out well. Recurring characters don't fare too well either. Charlie was an amazing character, but I'm still not over it. Brutally killed off in Season 10. Rest in peace, Charlie. We do have Mary and Rowena at the moment, and a few alternate versions of characters, so it's not like women aren't represented at all. But there's one character, and as a result, a few more around her, that seems to have really struck a chord with viewers, and that's Jodie Mills. She was introduced in Season 5 and quickly turned into a fan favourite, and the character's become a mother figure to several more female characters who she's taken under her wing. These characters were to be the focus of Wayward Sisters. This isn't the first time a spin-off's been attempted for Supernatural. In Season 9, an episode aired called Bloodlines that was meant to launch a new show that focused on a family of monsters in Chicago, but fan reception was mixed. Nobody really wanted a spin-off that had very little ties to the main show at all, and quite frankly, the episode was dull. When Wayward was announced, there was instantly more buzz. The backdoor pilot aired for it this season, and it gave us Jodie, Donna, who'd been in the show since Season 9, a Claire Novak, who showed up in Season 4 for the first time as the daughter of Jimmy Novak, his body would go on to become Castiel's, and there was Patience Turner and Kaya Neves. I think I've said her name right. The crew of lost souls all worked together to save Sam and Dean, all while creating a new problem for themselves that they would have to solve when the show itself began. It was a great episode. I don't think it was perfect. There were some issues with performances from one or two of the actresses, but nobody was bad. Every single person showed they could grow, they could develop, and they could become much-loved characters that could easily carry a show. When the episode ended, I was instantly intrigued to see where all these people could go and what adventures they could tell. The supernatural lore is so rich that it almost begs for new stories to be told, and this was the perfect direction to go with it. At least we all thought it was. Instead, the CW network decided to pass on the show, and it would be fair to say that nobody understands their reasoning for it. But honestly, what were they thinking? I'll just add here that I normally love the CW and how they treat their shows. If a show's gone on longer than a season, chances are they'll renew it. They seem to think of the fans more than any other network, and they'll allow creators the chance to give their stories an end rather than an out-the-blue cancellation. This choice, though, is just absurd. In the current climate, a show like Wayward Sisters should be a no-brainer. Greenlighting it would be something celebrated, and the CW should have used it as a linchpin for their 2018-19 season. Kick-ass women who don't need a man's help saving the world. Instead, it wasn't even given a chance. But let's look at what the network has picked up for next season and see if we can work out why they did what they did. And just a quick note, my thoughts on these upcoming shows are obviously just my own. If you're excited about them, it's great. I hope you enjoy them. First up, and perhaps the most confusing, at least for me, is Legacies. It's a second Vampire Diaries spin-off, and it will focus on Hope Mikkelsen. I'm not really overly familiar with how to say these names either. The daughter of two Originals characters. I have to say, I don't get this decision. The Vampire Diaries was dying audience-wise prior to the final season announcement, as was the Originals. Just looking at the ratings for these shows, it was clear that audiences had begun switching off and that interest in the universe was at an all-time low. I don't know what the quality of the shows was like. I tried Vampire Diaries during its first season, but it didn't really grab me. I heard it got better as it went on. I'm always tempted to try and give it another go, but I couldn't get past the overly sentimental side of those early episodes. Sort of the reading of the diary. It's called the Vampire Diaries. There was going to be a diary, but yeah, it didn't grab me. The originals, I haven't seen a second of, so this isn't about what I think of either series, it's purely based on how I perceive general audiences to feel about them. Dwindling ratings for both shows can only indicate a lack of interest, so why are we getting another show set in this verse so soon? It's beyond me. I mean, the originals, it doesn't even finish until this summer. The final season's still going. Next up, Charmed. I'm a little biased here as I hated the original run of this. I wanted to love it, I tried. I was fully in the midst of my Buffy supernatural type story obsession when this started, and it seemed like the type of show that I'd adore. I just found it to be so second-rate compared to something like Buffy, and I couldn't root for any of the characters in it. It came across as tacky and lazy to me with the writing, and I quickly gave up on it. Now, the new show isn't a continuation, so it could do something new, but when I disliked something so much before, I'm not about to get excited about the writers doing it again. Charmed, if you don't know, it's the story of three sisters who also happen to be witches. It ran for 8 seasons previously, and it came to an end in 2006. I can't recall how popular it was or how many were still watching it by the end, but as a rule, I'm not a huge fan of remakes and I'd much rather see something new. Speaking of remakes, that brings us neatly to Roswell, New Mexico. Not the place, the show. Well, the show's set in the place, so both. Roswell was a show that aired for 3 seasons between 1999 and 2002. It was the story of a girl named Liz who discovers her crush is an alien. So annoying when that happens. Along with 2 others. Now, I actually liked what I saw of Roswell. It was a long time ago, and I think for some reason I only made it through the first season, but I didn't actively decide to stop watching. It just sort of fell off my radar somehow, and I just never got around to seeing it again. A reboot of this could actually work. I don't know why they didn't just call it Roswell again, but it seems like it will keep the heart of the original while exploring new complex themes, and I'm on board for that. So yeah, story-wise, there's potential here. Viewer-wise, we'll come to that in a minute. Show number 4 is In the Dark, which is about a blind woman who is a witness to a murder, but the police don't believe her story, so she sets out with her dog Pretzel to find the killer. Wait a minute. This sounds like the best show ever. A blind woman and a dog fighting crime? I'm in. What kind of dog is it? Does the dog talk? I have so many questions. Does the dog look like a pretzel? Truthfully, I have to say, I don't really have too much to say about this one, because as far as I know, it doesn't have any backstory to it. So I haven't seen any footage of it, I've not heard too much, so it could go either way, but it's got a dog called Pretzel. So yeah, I'm interested at least. So what do these 4 shows have in common? They all have female leads, and males, well, they seem to be primarily secondary characters. I'm obviously basing this on what little information I have so far. 3 of these shows involve said female lead or leads battling supernatural forces. There is one other show, All American, a football drama with a male lead, but that's 1 out of 5. The only reason I can think of why Wayward Sisters wasn't picked up is that the CW felt they had enough female-centric dramas on the slate and one had to go. For some reason, this is the one they chose. Which means they think all of the others are better and have a better chance at success. Except I don't really understand that. In the past couple of seasons, the CW has had a real problem launching new shows. Both Valor and Life Sentence didn't make it past 1 season this year. Dynasty did so purely on international viewing. Its ratings were abysmal and it even hit the dreaded, almost infamous 0.1. Black Lightning did the best, although its ratings weren't stellar, and that was helped by the fact it's a DC superhero show despite not being linked to the Flarrow Girl of Tomorrow universe, although, come on, we all know it'll happen one day. It's going to happen. So what's to say any of these shows will have a chance? Based on recent history, the 2 new properties will likely struggle without an existing fan base. Legacies is based on a franchise that's been bleeding viewers. Charmed had a loyal fan base, but this is a reimagining of those characters. I mean, honestly, I think of all of them, this is the one that has the best chance to have a shot out of the shows they've chosen. Roswell is known by die-hard fans only, and it was only a 3-season show that had low ratings when it ended 16 years ago. 16 years ago? Oh, the world's moving too quickly. But yeah, I don't see how this one seems like a good idea either. As I said, creatively, this is the one I think could be the best, but viewership-wise, I just don't know where these viewers are going to come from. Whereas Wayward Sisters, that had the weight of the supernatural fans behind it. We're no small group, and we certainly aren't quiet. Ratings are down for Supernatural, sure, but not massively. The ratings have for the most part stabilised, and they're holding pretty consistently, and not since Season 3 has Supernatural been in danger of cancellation. Not only would most fans be there for Wayward from the beginning, but there would almost certainly be new fans, intrigued by a female-led show set in this world. Looking at all of this on paper, of all the shows that were in contention, Wayward Sisters is the easiest decision in the world to greenlight. Was there something behind the scenes we don't know about? Maybe, although I doubt we'll ever know. But something isn't right. Something stopped the CW from pressing ahead with this, and it's puzzling what that could be. As I say, the only thing I can think of is that they thought this season was too female heavy. But if that is the case, and I don't know why that would be a problem, the choice of the other shows over this one makes no sense. But all is not lost. The CW has been inundated with feedback over the decision. I'll put a link in the description, but you can get in touch with them and let them know how you feel they've made a mistake as well. Please be polite though with it. Try and be sort of articulate. Try and sort of check the spelling. Come across as smart fans. Don't come across as angry, irrational fans. Let's make it seem like we genuinely really care and we're not just being irate about it. They must be getting a lot of these, by the way, as I got an auto-response instantly saying that I'm not alone in my concerns and that our voices are being heard. I'll put a screenshot of that up here now. And please do the same if you want the show to have a chance. Also, a petition has been started, which has been shared by the cast and crew. So far, at the time of writing, it's about to hit 40,000 signatures. By the time I put images and stuff in this video, it will likely be higher. There's a real movement behind this now, so please sign that too if you can. It only takes a minute, and the link for that's also in the description. It doesn't take you long. Do it, do it, do it. Make as much noise as you can. Tweet about it. Tell your friends. Let's see if we can make the CW take notice. They must already be thinking about whether they made a mistake, and it's up to us, the fans, to let them know that they definitely have. We can do this. Wayward Sisters is not just a show that can easily be awesome, it's a show that's important. With everything going on at the moment in the world, Wayward Sisters could not come along at a better time. Thank you for watching. Videos coming up soon, including my Deadpool 2 review. The Doctor Who season ranking video is mostly written. I'll do that when I can, shouldn't be long. There'll be full season reviews as well for many shows, including all of the Flower Girl of Tomorrow ones and all 13 seasons of Supernatural. I'm going to try and rank them as well. Have a guess what's going to be bottom. A like and a subscribe will be awesome, and come and have a chat with me in the comments, or on Twitter. I'm on there at Joe P. Julians. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to throw your Wayward Sister support around at as many places as possible. Thanks for listening.